All right. Earlier, I had you raise your hand, and I wasn't quite ready for you, but I would love to have you come on up. Would you do that? All right. We're going to do a coaching demo. All right. So however you're comfortable. And what I'd like you to do is just, share your name, maybe one thing about yourself so people can put a name with the face.
I'm Tracy Coates, and I am, I'm a business analyst, and I love my family.
Awesome. Everybody say, hey, Tracy. All right, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to have you share what you shared earlier, unless it's shifted since lunch. Maybe you have a different goal. I want you just to share what that is, if you can remember. If not, you can think of whatever's in your head right now. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to start asking you some questions. And I'm going to intentionally ask you the different styles of questions, and then we're going to talk about how that feels. So I don't want you to go into this thinking that we're going to get a solution to your issue. What I want to do is share technique in a live demonstration so people can see what that technique feels like, and they can see how it's impacting them and affecting them. Is that fair?
Sure.
All right. So why don't you share with me that thing that you were mentioning? I just made that worse for you, didn't I, Jim? All right.
Oh, about finding a job?
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I had 10 years of the same business, and I just decided I was ready for a change and went into my boss and told him we need to work on an exit strategy, and I was ready to go.
Wow, so you've already begun to have the conversations.
Oh yeah, it's been a couple months, so I left going, what did I just do? So it was scary, but I just felt like I was ready to go. But now I'm scared.
What are you scared about?
How, income, and, I find a peace at it. Like, I know this is what I needed to do, but it's tough after being there for 10 years, and,
Is this something that needs to happen right away?
I think it does now, because I did give my notice. I mean, I said I need to exit strategy. You need to find somebody, I have to train them. And then there was a huge management change, and after the management change, new person comes in and says, we need to keep you. And I'm like, okay, these are changes I need to make. But now the door has closed for me there. They're looking for someone else, and I don't know, I just get a feeling that it's time for me to go.
Help me understand what led up to this, what led up to you wanting to take a step away.
Oh, a couple years ago, I was on a project, and I got removed from the project and put into another project where I was pretty much isolated, and I did a lot. I did a lot of projects on my own pretty much and accomplished a lot, but I kept being told what you're doing is just not that important. And I don't think my employer, my boss, really understood what I do, and I just didn't feel I had an importance there.
I want to pause you just for a second.
Okay.
Let me tell you what happens to me as a coach. I'm having a real hard time doing what I'm supposed to do for you up here. And let me tell you why. Because I don't want to do that to her heart. She's so awesome about coming up here and sharing something that's really happening with her that I don't want it to turn into a mockumentary, very similar to what I did at the beginning, where I was able to start with doing coaching the wrong way. I don't want to ask closing questions, and I don't want to lead her right now because she's being so vulnerable. So this is what I'm going to ask. A couple of the ACT graduates that are here are Jeremy, Sarah. Is anyone else that I'm missing? Debbie, Penny. All right, so you four, what I'd like you to do is just come forward real quick, just so I can hear you a little bit easier, and I know I'm putting you on the spot. But you don't have, you just can kind of stay down here just so people can see you. You guys give them a hand for coming forward. These are four of the graduates. I want to change this up a little bit, and I'm just going to have you guys fireball some questions up here for her, okay? So we're gonna just have you kind of say it nice and loud, and let her answer the questions, and I'll just keep them brief. So think of open questions, leading questions, and closed questions, and let's just see if we can stir this up. I wanted to change it and have you do it because I just felt like a connection here, and in good conscience, I couldn't go down there, okay? So for sake of the exercise, let's shift me off the hot seat and put you on the hot seat, okay? So, so just throw out some questions and whatever's on the top of your mind, and she'll answer them, and then we'll debrief as a group, and we can try to identify what those are. Val, get up here. I didn't even see you sitting there. Come on. Yeah, just however, but don't let her know what they are. I'm sorry, I didn't see you sitting there. My eyes aren't what they used to be. Do it. What do you want to do next?
What do I want to do next? I'm not sure. I want to be in a position where I'm of value and helpful. Well, because I'm told I wasn't of value, by my boss. I know the others in the company feel that way, but I don't know. I just don't feel like I am. Why is what?
Why isn't your value intrinsic?
What's that mean?
Internal.
That's a good question, and I think, yeah. I don't know.
Let's slow down just for a second, okay? Because first of all, this is the fun about live seminars, okay? My demonstration of what I want to do is so out the window, it's gone. So forget
Yeah.
it's not working. So I'm making it up as I'm going here, and I'm that. What I liked about what you were saying, and we can talk about this. He was asking a leading question, but he was also asking a why question. Who could tell right away that her body posture changed? She began to feel like she was being interrogated, and she was like, "What do you mean? Why? I mean, what?" And so it actually changed the way that she was responding. So I love that, and I loved how rapidly you threw them out there, because those are at least three things that I would never recommend any coach ever doing. And I appreciate you doing that the wrong way. So if the goal was to do it poorly, you 100% out of the. And I think you are, because I asked you to. So let's give you a chance to just throw 3 or 4 questions out there.
I think she asked what
In
would
your
make me
job,
feel
yeah.
valued.
Thank you.
I think maybe a little more recognition in what I've been accomplished in front of my peers. Yeah, that would help for sure. Salary raise, would that make me feel recognized? More than the salary raise would be probably a raise in my title. I've been there 10 years. I've always had the same title. I see people around me that go from, business analyst to senior business analyst or project manager. My career goal had been project management. Even though I've been doing the jobs as a project manager, my position is still, I'm a web administrator, SharePoint administrator, and doing the whole, the whole project by myself as project manager, business analyst, developer, and I'm still just a web administrator, business analyst. So probably position.
One more question for you. I'll pause you right there. I love it. I love it. This is a bonus. We're not talking about this today, but because she's a self-manager, project manager, she's a self-coaching individual. This type of personality, when you coach them, don't respond to yes or no questions. So a lot of times you can move on to a different subject by using a yes or no closed question as something to move to a different subject. Dealing with an individual like her, because she does what she does for a living, and her brain works the way that it does, she's not going to respond to yes or no questions. So I saw that right away when we started. And just like she responded, you try to use a closed question, and she opened it right up and started kind of telling her story. It's an interesting technique because you can use closed questions in a healthy way. However, when someone isn't responding to a closed question, you just have to be aware of that. So I just wanted you to know, once again, you can't step into anything the same, and she listens differently and she communicates differently. So you have to be aware of that when you're talking to someone, and that's just kind of a bonus for you 3 as it goes down the line. She's probably not going to respond to yes or no questions. So, are you having a good time?
Yeah.
Excellent. You get a prize too. How about that? Woo! All right.
I really appreciate your sharing, and I would like to ask your permission if I can ask a couple more questions.
Yeah, of course.
Debbie.
This is helping me a lot.
I want to ask if you feel that you've really detached from the job that you have currently to be able to move forward?
That's a really good question. I had not done that yet, but Friday kind of felt was my first step of doing that. I was telling my husband, I said, I'm feeling really happy and I want to go out with a great attitude as I'm leaving, but it's been tough. So it's a really good question. Yeah, I had not up until Friday. I don't think I was detached from it. But I think I'm starting to do that right now.
Good job. That's really encouraging. What kind of a network do you have to support you in this process?
Well, I'm working on that too. I have pockets of very supportive people and some business people that I'm working with, but my support group's not real large.
Is that an area that you think you might be able to work on a little more, get that support really in line? Because this is a big deal. That's 10 years of your life that you're shifting, and that's really important. You're going to need some cheerleaders in there.
Yeah, I know. I just read this book, came to me, Do You Have a God-Sized Dream? And it talks about that. So
Awesome.
I've been slowly getting
Good job.
people lined up with that, because that's what it talks about, getting a team together.
Very
Good.
good.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
pause this right here. So awesome. And Angela is a coach graduate too. So first off, the way that this went, you guys can spin around and face the audience. You know, we had Angela, who you didn't get to hear ask questions, but she is a great question asker. Jeremy and Sarah and Debbie and Val and Penny, could you see how they went through all the same training together, but their thought process is so different, and what they were curious about and how they walked down through the questions. Can you just see how they were all kind of following the same path, but they didn't lead, they didn't ask questions that brought her there. They kept them open, except for Jeremy, who followed my directions perfectly, and he did it at the very beginning wrong. I mean, honestly, that's not how Jeremy normally asks questions. So I appreciate him being the fall guy and not making me do that this time. But can you see how they walked that down, and how just following their curiosity, she started relaxing? And just share a little bit about what you were feeling when you were going through that process.
Yeah, this one made me feel, I'm about ready to cry. No, this one gave me a lot of support. So it was a really good questions, all of you. You know, this one really made me, yeah, if that was wrong, then that was good.
That
'cause
was
it
wrong.
Really,
Incredibly,
it was,
very intentional.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you have to illustrate.
yeah,
Yes.
it was really good.
My old nature is that direct. I don't understand why you don't can.
Yes.
I think that's kind of my nature, and I think that's where maybe that's why I haven't been on teams, maybe, So I don't know, but this is why I'm here.
I love it. And I want to overemphasize that. That's why I couldn't do that, because I don't want to give Jeremy a stigma that that's what he does. He just did what I asked him to do. So I apologize if I put you in an awkward place. He normally does not do that. But my point was that I wanted to create for you the feeling that asking the wrong questions too quickly, too rapidly, and with the wrong heart, what that would make the person feel. And you even heard what she said. It almost made me cry. She didn't want to admit it at first, but then when she started getting asked questions that were open, that were wide open, that were followed from heart level, ask coaching questions, it began to open her up, and she started to relax into it. So thank you so much. I think there was a couple offers to communicate later. All of these are recognized coaches, as well as Angela in the back. So if you want to talk to them, I believe that some of them even have their side businesses. So that's a shameless plug for all my ACT graduates. They are all awesome. So, and I have 4 tickets from you from our corporate sponsor, Coastal Community Bank. So enjoy the race. I don't believe you have to use them tonight. So if you are already going, thank you so much for coming up and being vulnerable.